Well, here we are again, and welcome back to our sofa. I'm Isabel Banerjee, and this is my co-host, Diane Festa. And if you haven't seen us before, I'm really sorry. We'd like you to join us regularly on our vlog series, Lift as You Climb. This particular theme is called the Sofa Series, where two girlfriends, two explorers of what is possible in the world, sit together and talk and share candidly what's going on in our heads and topics that we think may be of interest to other women out there in the world. We began our journey knowing each other through mentoring programs and collective wisdom. What's the word I'm looking for? Peer advisory boards.
Yeah.
And then we became writing buddies, cohorts, and accountability partners as we each worked on crafting our first books for publication. At the end of the show, we'll talk to you a little bit more about where you can find those. But recently, we shared a conversation on this series about coming up to the end of this decade and this year, 2019, and in the remaining days in preparation to launch into a new year and a new beginning, one of the things we talked about was that as women, we too infrequently acknowledge how much we've already done and how much success we've had, as opposed to always looking for what else do we need to do and what else is not good enough or not checked off on the list.
What did we miss this year? What didn't we accomplish? Oh.
Yeah, like shoulda all the time.
Instead of what amazing things did we accomplish this year?
Yeah, so if you missed that episode, go back and listen to it, because I think we might have taken the cork out of the bottle on a couple of things for you to think about in terms of how important it is to celebrate what we have done and what we've moved forward.
So we thought this might be a good opportunity to give some examples of what sorts of things you might think about.
Yeah.
So that you can look back on your own year and appreciate all of the things that you've accomplished.
Yeah, because after all, the cover of our book says Feminine Wisdom, Unmasked and Uncensored. So we thought it was only fair to just sit here in front of you and talk about the feelings that we have about what we've done this year and practice what we preach, and that is to reflect and celebrate and appreciate and love on ourselves. Big year.
Big year, yeah.
I've watched you. I've been in the wings on your stage watching the tremendous growth and change in your life. But what about our peeps out here? Would you like to share a little bit about what you went through?
Yeah. So this year I left my job of 20 plus years, a company that I was one of the owners at, and started a new business. And that was a huge, hard decision to make. It took me really many years of pondering to decide to make that decision. And so one of my celebrations is just the fact that I finally did make that call and decided to follow my heart and start this new company. So, I'm really excited about that.
Okay, so here it is. She's alive. You survived.
I survived.
Oh my goddess, you took that leap.
I feel like I'm thriving, actually, and building this new thing and figuring out what life is all about outside of what I knew for 20 years, which is huge.
Which was also, you knew that there would be a regular paycheck.
That was really nice.
And there would be staff to support your initiatives and your activities, right?
IT and accounting and HR and all of those functions that now I am it.
Now this is it. You're the team. You're the staff, right?
Yeah, I actually just wrote a blog post about my entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, haven't read that one
yeah,
yet.
I'll have to point you towards that.
Okay, yeah, let's remember at the end, make sure that we are aware, because Kara has some great blogs, and you don't, you don't have to figure out all of this on your own. Some of it you can figure out by example, right, and compare. Yeah, I like where she went with that, or no, that's not me, but I can get a different take on that. Okay, so I know there were some other things going in your world, and I mean, we're talking about this too, that it's, we have careers and businesses, we have relationships, we have personal priorities. Any top of mind biggies in the last 12 months for you?
You know, I have started to get out there in a couple of different environments and do some volunteering with some organizations. So that's actually been really fun. I've been
cool.
working as a mentor for entrepreneurial students and faculty at the university through one of the university programs. That's been really exciting.
So taking your career and your experience in education from what you've left.
From business, yep.
But still making sure that that is creating value in the world for other people. I like that.
Yeah, that's been very, very
And
fun.
you were doing this while you were learning to be an entrepreneur. Right. I know you've done some speaking as well.
What have I been doing for speaking? I wrote some, you know, a piece in your book.
Yes, that's right.
I wrote my own little book that I have available. So.
Which is a fabulous chapter, and I encourage you to read it, because you're going to be intrigued, I am sure, by the title, which is How Belly Dancing Ended her engineering career. So keep in step on that one.
Yeah. So how about you? What are you proud of that you've accomplished this year?
Oh my goddess. So I hadn't really started to, catalog that until we start to talk. So I accomplished writing a book and publishing a book, and it was a major accomplishment, and I set it as a milestone project for my 65th birthday, and it was hard. It really was hard to discipline myself to do that, and to do justice to the co-writers that contributed to it. But I am so excited by it, and the feedback has been validating for me that it tells a story. It provides a message that women have been wanting to talk about. Therefore, our hashtag join the conversation. I have moved to a new home and become part of a new community. I've joined a service organization. I am up to here learning new technologies and languages, all to support what I'm doing next, which is creating a program called the Encore Academy to help women crystallize who they are today, authentically, and vision and script who they want to be next, and make it happen.
So exciting.
There's a lot. I've traveled, and I've been in touch with family and friends that I was disconnected from for a while. And I've discovered that I just feel really re-energized, even though many days I feel incompetent, incapable. But that's when I have now realized that all I need to do is reach out to my girlfriends, my vitamin G, and they are the trampoline that rebuilds my confidence and gets me back on track.
Yeah, that's so important to remember.
Yeah.
Days when we're having a down day, and have somebody to reflect for you really how amazing you are.
Absolutely. We do. I think, and isn't that interesting, because that's that self thing again, right? Sometimes we don't see our own magnificent self, and we forget very, very quickly all of the stuff that we have done in our lifetime, and our growth, and the value that we have created, and the relationships we have nourished, and the courage to walk away from some things that were not right for us or not any longer right for us. So I like this idea of, okay, make a list, make a list of, okay, so what are the careers that you have progressed through, and what skills and wisdom did you acquire along that way? I don't know, it's like the Girl Scouts, we should be getting little badges, right? For all of the things that we have done in our lifetime that we now take for granted, which seemed very hard or very scary when we were in it. Or, maybe it was like algebra. Well, what will I ever do with this? But it comes back. Later you figure out why, like, especially when you're cutting the pie.
Challenges, all of the challenges that you've overcome and things you've learned from it.
Yeah. And make a list too of who else we've impacted, who have, that we've been able to help and give value to. And being the forward thinker, always growth mindset person that I am, I like to make a list of all of the things I'd like to do next without putting conditions on those of that it's an obligation or it's I'm not good enough until I do that. These are just ways for me to position my vision to grow in the future.
Stay excited about things.
Yeah. Do you have any other, I know because of your coaching skills, your integral coaching skills, you may have some tools that people might use. Is there anything that you could offer on your website or?
Well, I've got a couple of blogs there that might be useful. Some thoughts around the feminine and masculine in balance, which is a favorite topic of mine. So that might be an interesting one that would give people some things to think about.
Right.
One of my other favorite things, this is kind of looking forward versus backwards, because I think we've transitioned to looking forwards, is looking for things to do that are a little bit uncomfortable. So that might be a good way to look backwards too, actually, is what have you done this year that was uncomfortable and challenging and you did it anyway? Those are things to be proud about. And then going forward, what uncomfortable thing am I going to try to accomplish next? And, how can I move through that?
I love that idea. Okay, there's a great one. Think back. What were the things that gave you butterflies or kept you from sleeping soundly through the night, or made your gut clench in the past year or more, and you got through them anyway. That's badassery. Bravo. All right. And that's not a bad thing.
No,
it's really good. And we should not be, I believe that we shouldn't diminish our power by keeping it small and saying, oh, it really was nothing, just anybody could have done it. BS, like be a badass and own what you did and that you didn't give up even when it was kind of scary or uncomfortable. All righty. Well, shall we say to be continued?
To be continued, yeah.
But please, on our social media, in the comments below this video on YouTube, give us some of your stories, your success stories, so that we can celebrate what a badass you were and how much you have accomplished and should be grateful for yourself doing, so that we can also celebrate and give you a standing ovation. So with that, I'm going to share the slide so that everybody knows how to reach out and connect with us. I'm very, very excited about hearing some of these stories because we love any reason to celebrate, right? So here I am, Isabel Banerjee, and that's Banerjee like energy, with my champion friend, Diane Festa.
Happy to be here.
Yay! and she is the Trust Your Brilliance creator, and it is pretty darn brilliant. This is where you find Diane out there in the Kara, in the big wide world, on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, and drop her an email and go to her website and sign up, because then you'll get her newsletter and blogs and some really great tools. And also, she's got this really great book with worksheets in it that you want to have.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
It is awesome. And I would very, very much like it if you joined our tribe at isabelbanerjee.com. That's where we'll keep you up to date on what we're creating and what we can share, and why we know there's so many of you out there deserving standing ovations. So stay tuned and join our YouTube, subscribe, and we'll be chatting with you from our sofas regularly. Bye for now.
Bye.